So as I was getting some food in the morning, I bumped into this it's not 370Z, it's a Z now. Take a look at it and check this out. What do you guys think? First of all, this is the angle that no one sees from the back. What I like about this car is that it's got some hips. You see, it's got some hips in the back. So it's kind of cool. These two exhaust. I'm not crazy about the holes in the exhaust. I think it adds it enhances the exhaust sound. By the way, this is the limited production one. 250 examples for the world will be made of this car, and I bet you they're all spoken for. But look how high it sits. It sits extremely high for a sports car. So I know a lot of people will be lowering it. A lot of aftermarket companies. 275, 35, 19 in the back, and the front is 255, 40, 19. So kind of like the Supra and kind of like the BMW M3 with the 19 in setup. I like the little silver swoop on the side. The only thing is it doesn't match with anything silver on the car, so it's kind of strange. In the front, you've got this pretty cool looking bumper. It's got some very, very sharp edges, and this grille, which half of it is functional, half of it is not functional. It looks pretty good, if you ask me. These retro style taillights, and these are the LEDs that light up to that retro styling. This, I don't know what this is for. This is sort of a blank. I feel like this interrupts with aerodynamics. Why would they design it like this? But for the most part, I think this is a very, very good looking car. Really surprised me, because if you are looking at a car like this, obviously you're cross-shopping it with the Supra. I think I would get the Supra over this, only because Supra kind of looks more exotic. Although $39,000 for the base, $59,000 or $50,000 for the one with all the performance bits. This one is $52,000 or $53,000. So it seems like a bargain compared to even the Cayman. You cannot get into a Cayman base for this amount of money. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Very, very nicely appointed. It looks sporty. A lot of people say that it doesn't have a lot of room inside, but if you remember in my Cayman, I feel like Cayman had a lot less room compared to this one. Cayman didn't have such nicely bolstered seats. So I've got to say, this one has one leg up on the Cayman. The steering wheel looks kind of high, or kind of large, but it's so you can see that digital display right behind it. I think they did. Volkswagen does it, Audi does it nowadays. So they all do it nowadays, so you just have to live with it. Transmission feels so good. That shifter feels absolutely fantastic. You've got those retro gauges, and yeah. So I think this is gonna be a hit. And yeah, I think it's gonna sell very, very well. It's got this strut brace similar to what the Cayman has. It also has storage similar to what the Cayman has, but when you remember what the Cayman is a mid-engine vehicle, so Cayman has an engine here. That means you also have a front trunk. In this case, you do not have a front trunk, but yeah, I think this is a very, very good looking car. Very, very surprising, especially from the back. It definitely has a great street presence. The only thing is, again, suspension sits a little high. I think wheels are a little too small for what it is. But yeah, overall, I think this is a very good looking car. In general, it's got more positives than the negatives. And take a look at these taillights, for example. Oh, so cool. And this is how the 911 compares to the Z. So keep in mind that my 911 is slightly lowered, but you can see that the roofline is a lot higher in the Z compared to the 911. Now, in terms of the presence, again, on this one you've got the hips. On this one, you also have the hips. The Z is definitely a lot shorter than the 911, which is, again, it's obvious because it doesn't have back seats. I think the 911 sits a little better, again, because of the lowered suspension. Although even if I didn't lower my 911, it would still look a little better. Now, 911 obviously has a longer back because the engine is in the back, so the overhang between the back wheels and the edge of the bumper, it's a lot longer on the 911 versus the Z. But yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. So that was kind of cool. The last clip, I wanted to show the guy who's making the video, but he didn't want me showing him, so I had to cut the clip a little short. But anyways, I was pleasantly surprised by the car, especially the presence in the back, especially those wide hips. But I think this car is going to sell extremely well, especially with that twin turbo V6, 400 horsepower, limited slip, and plenty of potential to extract horsepower out of it. So I think this is going to be a very popular car among the enthusiasts, at least until the electric cars take over. But anyways, I'm curious to see what you have to say about this car. What would you pick? Would you pick the Z? Would you pick the Supra? Would you maybe pick the base Cayman, or nothing? And how do you feel about the styling? I've got to say, I really like the styling. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'm curious to see what you have to say, so comment down below, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.